G'day all, welcome back to the G-Man Show. Today we're having a look at what in the world is going on in Sydney, in Melbourne, with all these crimes happening at shopping centres, with people using bladed weapons, large bladed weapons. Absolutely crazy. So we'll take a look at a few different news stories on isolated incidents and have a chat about it. It's just out of hand. You hear about it every second day now.
A man wielding a machete has been shot dead by police at a Western Sydney shopping centre. The actions of officers now under scrutiny. Let's go live to today's Sydney reporter Jack Hahn, who is at Mount Druitt for us this morning. Jack, this all unfolded in front of Saturday's shoppers.
I don't care. If anyone's running around with a knife, shoot them.
Yeah, certainly terrifying for them. Lucy, good morning to you. A very busy time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon here at Mount Druitt Shopping Centre, the Westfield in Sydney's West. Look, a brawl broke out between two groups of people. It's reported that up to 30 people were involved. Police racing to the scene when they rocked up. They say that a man aged in their 20s pulled a machete on them, forcing them to open fire, discharging several shots. That young man falling into a critical condition right away and into cardiac arrest shortly after. Ambulance paramedics trying for nearly an hour to bring him back to life, but those attempts were unsuccessful. And shortly after that, a critical incident investigation was declared this morning. Detectives from the state's homicide squad will be reviewing this shooting to make sure that it's in line with police procedure and with law. Speaking with people that were down...
All right, so I've got an issue with that. People love to try and pick people apart for heated... You're making a decision in a do-or-die sort of moment. You're not sitting down and doing a strategic review of the actions you may undertake when you know exactly what may happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Some dude pulls out a huge weapon and maybe brandishes it towards you or approaches you. What are you going to do? Take him down. That should be the punishment. You pull out a huge weapon like that in public, you're 6 feet under. This has got to stop.
Downstairs in the shopping centre at the time. Some report that they had zero idea that there was limited or no announcements made. So that'll be one thing that people will be wanting some answers to this morning about the response from Westfield itself. As for the people involved in the brawl, Lizzie, all of them this morning remain on the run, so police will be desperately trying to track them down.
They will. Jack Hahn, thank you.
And safety inside Australian shopping centres is in the spotlight this morning after a Western Sydney complex was plunged into lockdown when rival gangs armed with knives and machetes began fighting, the chaos turning deadly when one man then approached police, forcing them to open fire. This is the latest.
Have you ever noticed, so look, I'm not trying to be racist here, okay? I'm going to be told I'm a racist. It's either people with from African country backgrounds or from the Middle East. That's who are, for the most part, are running around with these knives and all this gang crime and all that sort of stuff, especially at these shopping complexes. You just saw the whole group there. There was probably affiliated guys standing there, thinking they're all tough and they're gangster and they're, Crips versus Blood, my shopping centre versus your shopping centre. Let's settle the score. Because they've got nothing else going for them in life, complete no-hopers, so they hang around at the shops thinking that's their turf. Bonkers.
In a series of violent attacks at our busy retail malls, leaving many shoppers terrified. So let's bring in today's talkers, Nationals leader David Littleproud in Winton in Queensland and Gus Wallen from Wide World Sports here with me in studio. David, to you first. Already this year, we've seen at least 6 shopping centres across the country placed into lockdown because of these violent attacks. This issue, it's just getting out of hand.
It is. It's a degradation of society that we have to do something about. There has to be a deterrent. There has to be a...
Stop immigration. That might help. Oh, no, G-Man, that's so racist and bigoted. Come on, let's be real about it. Has this stuff been... This sort of thing would be basically unheard of 20 years ago. You'd never even heard of it. People throwing knives and chasing each other down the street and hacking each other up. Just doesn't happen in Australian culture. Well, it is now, the new Australia. Who does that? You might have a punch on, surfies versus the skaties or whatever. Who's bringing this violent crime? It's people from backgrounds and from countries that don't have no respect for our laws at all. So who in their right mind pulls out a huge weapon like that and hits someone with it? With intent.
consequence for doing the wrong thing. And when the violence that you're talking about with machetes, and I see Victoria's banned machetes, but there has to be a real penalty for it. And when you've got police that sadly have to use lethal force, you just understand the job that they're being put in as well. We need to lift the standard, but we need to have a deterrent, have a consequence for doing the wrong thing. And that means being taken away from society so that the greater good can feel safe, particularly whether it be at home or in a shopping centre.
Well, you touched on Victoria banning the sale of machetes. I mean, it is a good start, but in concrete, is there something specific that we can be doing to stop this? I'm shocked by the amount of machetes that we're seeing in schools.
I mean, if it's not going to be a machete, it's going to be something else. It doesn't really stop the underlying problem. They're not going to go, oh, well, I can't go down to the local machete shop and buy one. Well, that's it, guys. Let's wrap it up. No more gang fights. No more of this turf wars. They'll just find another weapon. Soon they'll be banning cricket bats, baseball bats.
Sorry, in shopping centres.
Yeah, and look, I think this starts at home, and it starts with respect to the institutions. And I think as parents, we've got to instill that. And where sadly there's homes that don't have the stability, that's where the state needs to step in. But we can't abrogate all our responsibility to the states as parents. We've got to do the right thing in building that respect to the institutions, from teachers right through to police. And I think that makes us a stronger society, and believing in those institutions will protect us, serve us, and make sure that it keeps us safe into the future.
Gus.
It's just disaffected youth. I mean, this has always been a thing. This has been happening for forever. Kids banding together, thinking that they've got some sort of something in common. Like they've got a cause. They might feel like they're no hopers. They might not be good at school, or want to be interested in school, or they don't want to work. And this is what they turn to have a purpose in life. It's always going to happen. You can't stop it. You can't put it on the parents. Some kids are just bad apples. That's it. And a lot of people out there with psychopathic traits that aren't diagnosed, you're going to have something like that to even pull a weapon out and hit someone with it, without even thinking of the negative consequences.
With this rapid rise of attacks in shopping centres, do you ever feel nervous going to a shopping centre? Do you think about it?
I don't. Yeah, I do think about it for sure. And I can't believe that machetes are so available anyway. Yeah. You know, when they said the Victoria's banned them, surely they're banned full stop. You'd have to go through a lot of checks to get one. But I take my mum now to the shopping centre. So she's 86. Yep. So I worry about her, and my brother and I take it in sort of, he does it, I do it, to make sure that she's okay and safe. Because even in the area that she lives in, which is quite safe and stuff, I do worry about it now with the gangs and so forth. So this is something we used to think about years ago in other countries, and now it's happening on our doorstep. I just can't believe it.
You can't believe it. You just literally prove my point. I just can't believe it. It used to happen in other countries. Yeah, because the other countries have now made Australia home.
Yeah, it's something that you think about in America. I certainly don't expect it here in Australia. But
exactly.
Here we are.
Yeah.
America. Well, police in Sydney are this morning hunting the members of two gangs who sparked a shopping centre emergency in the city's west.
The violence turning deadly when officers were forced to open fire when one man armed with machete launched at them. Lawyer Rick Rabber was inside the Mount Druitt Centre when it all unfolded, and he joins us now in the studio. Rick, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
What, through your eyes, happened yesterday afternoon? Walk us through it.
I was at Mount Druitt Shopping Centre. I go there most weekends to get a haircut. I got to the parking bay. I saw a police van pull up, two police officers run upstairs. And then the centre management staff all started shutting down the travellators, shutting down the stairs to the upstairs car park. I fortunately didn't witness it with my eyes, but I spoke to a few other eyewitnesses. They've told me that it started off as a brawl, and then there was a young fella that approached them with a machete, and unfortunately shots were laid, and we now know the news that he's since passed.
Oh, it must...
Okay, well, he got what he deserved. It's not unfortunate. You pull a knife out of cops, you're done. That's the way I see it, and call me hard line. You need to review that. You probably shouldn't have done that, guys. What should they have done? What should they have done? Wrestled it off him physically and risk being hit by it? Risk having life-changing injuries to them by some muppet who wants to swing a knife around? If you're doing that, there's no sympathy for you if you get shot. That's it. All right, I'm going to move on because they're sort of replaying the same story here. We'll move on to another one.
Terrifying CCTV has emerged from inside Northland of the moment a wild machete brawl erupted between...
All right, so Northland is a place in Melbourne, Victoria, in Australia. Good old Northland. So the other one was in Sydney, which was another state. This is in Melbourne.
Rival gangs and the courageous shoppers who jumped in to stop them. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris begins our coverage.
A busy shopping centre on a Sunday afternoon becomes a battleground. One teen slashes another with a machete, brawling in Northland's food court. A little girl eating her ice cream just meters
Once again, Middle Eastern dudes.
From the violence, scooped up into the safety of her mother's arms. But the fighting continues. One thug is pinned down as a Good Samaritan removes the large blade, and an injured man collapses beside the ice cream shop as terrified shoppers run for their lives. Victoria was pushed to the ground during the chaos.
It was dark, there were kids in there crying, there was an old lady with a wheelchair.
The horror unfolded around 2:30. Two rival gangs organised to meet up before the fight broke out as shoppers and workers...
Oh, look, all Middle Eastern dudes, call me a racist. This is a problem now because they don't give two stuffs. They run by their own rules. So they're running around with machetes in the shopping centre. This is bonkers. This just never used to happen. This has been... I probably couldn't even count them on one hand, the ones that happened in the last month. This is a huge problem. It keeps getting brushed under the rug. Oh, yeah, it was just ban machetes. They're going to use something else. I don't know who thinks it's a good idea. It's smart to use a machete in a fight. I literally cannot comprehend the thought process here. Or any weapon. Use your fists. You're that soft or something, you can't have a normal fight. If it comes to that, you got to have a weapon and try and kill someone. Piss weak.
Workers were forced into storerooms. One man used a chair to defend himself, while another performed a citizen's arrest.
Well, he had a balaclava on and a machete swinging it around, so I thought I wasn't going to stand for that. Jumped down onto his back and just took his back. Then someone else took the machete from him.
Police have...
That guy's got a massive set on him. How many people would have done that? Jumped on a guy who was wielding a machete around the shops. Well done, mate. That is awesome.
Praise the efforts of bystanders and staff who helped keep the community safe, offering them food and comfort inside the store. They're also looking at giving Anthony a bravery award for his efforts. Of the brawlers, the two main instigators, boys aged 16 and 15, were already on bail for serious weapons offences. They were charged and remanded. Two other men aged 20 and 18 were arrested this morning and have already been bailed. The older one was already on bail at the time. A 20-year-old man is in hospital with serious head injuries, while three more are on the run.
We've already identified all of those who were involved, with more arrests imminent. So I urge anybody who was involved to hand themselves in.
For some, fear has turned...
What about this guy? Do you think that guy would have jumped on the guy's back? Probably not. So we've got all these guys who have no problem swinging these weapons around, and this is our feminised, masculine Australian presence. Good on that guy. He should get an award, a bravery award. He's probably saved lives. If not serious injury to someone or multiple other people. He deserves a bravery award. How many people would jump on the back of a dude wielding a machete? Not many.
To anger. Just 6 months ago, at the same shopping centre, Mikey O'Halloran's partner was slashed with a machete and robbed by a gang of teenagers.
I don't want to live in fear, and I want to be able to go to the shops and not have teenagers rule my life.
There are concerns the centre, run by Vicinity Group, hasn't done enough to protect customers and staff. It took more than 30 minutes for the shopping centre's alarm to be triggered.
Yeah, it should have been straight away. I didn't hear any alarms at all, just people screaming.
Vicinity Group says it will remain focused on reviewing and strengthening safety procedures. Cafe owner Brian Jim says the incident shouldn't reflect on the centre's staff.
Northland is still safe.
I don't think it's safe, mate. I don't think it's safe.
Gillian joins us now from outside Northland tonight.
So what happens? I know I'm stopping before we get on to the next bit. So these kids, these Muppets come in, do their stupid gang fight, and now what happens? Small businesses get affected. People get trauma from witnessing that. People are scared to go outside, scared to go to the supermarket, scared to go to those shopping centres. Put them all. Find anyone who's affiliated with it, deport them, or put them in bloody jail for a very long time. Send a message. Clamp down. Oh, you're a racist. You're a racist. No, I'm not. You want to do these sort of things? Right? Needs to be a heavy-handed response to it.
Jill, security there going to be bolstered up all week.
Yes, Tom, police will be patrolling the centre in the coming weeks as well as on weekends. We've already seen them today here in the car park on horseback multiple times, and the public order response team were inside on foot talking to customers and to staff members, really reassuring them. There'll also be designated weapon searches here in the coming days, so police can search anyone at any time if they're suspicious of them carrying a weapon. As it stands tonight, Tom, 3 people remain on the run, but police are confident they'll make arrests soon.
Gillian Lantouris there, thank you.
I'd love to know if they actually made those arrests. All right. We had that one, we got this one. Let's take a quick look at this. Good old Ali Langdon.
The shops.
Definitely put me on edge today. I was looking at everybody, extra careful.
It's becoming a massive crisis.
Spot the Aussie, mate. There isn't one. So once again, it's all these Middle Eastern and African youths who are doing this stuff.
Sadly, we're seeing an increase in violence and aggression in a range of shopping centres.
Shopping malls resembling Hollywood movie sets.
What the is happening?
Forcing shoppers to take matters into their own hands.
If someone's about to attack me, I can pull this out, it will blind them for 5 minutes so I can get away.
Better be a good shot.
Monday mid-afternoon, in the middle of Victoria's school holidays, terror unfolds outside a bustling Moonee Ponds shopping strip. 2 knife incidents within an hour as brave bystanders perform daring citizens' arrests.
I heard drop the knife, so and then these men just tackled someone to the ground.
Someone came and threw the chair at him, and we were able to disarm him.
He should be given some sort of commendation. He was very brave.
I missed this by 10 minutes by going home.
Local Jody has been left rattled.
I know police officers that just told me to go carry this in your pocket because the only thing you can't get charged with. We're not allowed to carry pepper spray. Rexona, you can. We're women.
So you carry that in case something...
How's it about women? How's this about women's safety? That was a coffee shop that was being damaged. Now they've made it all about female safety. You got this Karen on here.
Told to buy it, and everyone's actually lining up getting these right now.
Like anyone could be like a victim of that stabbing, you know?
Every second week you hear something's going on, whether it's big or small. You just hear it's getting, it's a worry that something needs to be done, but the question is what?
And it needs to be underpinned by the shopping centres, having people that are trained to pick up the behaviours of people with bad intent. Now, that can be people carrying things that they shouldn't or pre-violence indicators, and that's how we can make a difference.
Pre-violence indicators. Go to Melbourne. Go to Melbourne CBD and walk around at any time of the day. Even in the middle of the day, first thing in the morning, you'll have people yelling at you, screaming at you, bashing on things, lying on the ground, carrying on. Joint is absolutely effed. Absolutely effed. Nothing to be done about it. It just gets worse, just degrades.
Scott Taylor is an expert in security and risk.
Because people with bad intent, whether it's violence, whether it's shoplifting, they leak behaviours, they leak physiological changes that can be picked up.
He says more guards aren't the answer, but increased training in body language recognition would help.
We get people say, well, can't we stop it altogether? And it's the same as, can we stop shoplifting altogether? Well, of course we can. We can put a 30-foot fence with some snipers and crocodiles in a moat, but you're not going to have any customers. We need to understand there's going to be some element of risk.
The knife attacks in Moonee Ponds, the latest in a series of
Just looks like a meth head junkie dude, off their head, paranoid schizophrenics. You see a lot of them around now, especially in the Melbourne CBD. As I see people yelling at each other, having conversations with themselves, yelling at themselves, yelling at nobody. Basket case.
Shopping centre incidents. Joel Couchy's rampage at Sydney's Westfield Bondi Junction last year sent shockwaves around the world.
At least 6 people are dead. They have either been stabbed or shot inside the Westfield shopping centre.
This year, machete mayhem in Melbourne when armed thugs began brawling in front of stunned Sunday shoppers before a stolen car sent the same shopping centre into another lockdown. In the regional Victorian city of Bendigo, a security guard was bashed in barbaric scenes. In many of those incidents, Good Samaritans were forced to intervene.
I've got a little girl and I want to protect her.
That's it. Put it back on the public to jump in. What would happen if these guys didn't jump in and do stuff? You've seen a few of these stories where people have put their selflessly put their lives on the line, really. You can say I'm over-exaggerating. You've got people with knives here on the line to stop them.
So, absolutely, we don't want any violence around us at all.
And you should be able to take the kids
without worrying. Like, you're always thinking, like, what happens if someone's there? How can you protect? Do you have to have something in place or measure? It's always on the back of everyone's minds.
I've got daughters who used to drop them off so they could go to the movies at the local shopping centre. They could go out and buy some clothes, have some lunch. But families are starting to feel less safe with those opportunities moving forward.
Victoria's opposition leader and former cop, Brad Batten.
Police numbers in Victoria with 1,100 vacancies on the rosters is a huge concern for everyone. Over 40 states.
Yeah, because it's a shit job. People aren't buying into it. And plus, what did they do? They with all the COVID type stuff, a lot of people walked away from their job because they didn't want to get forced to take the jab. So shot themselves in the foot. Now you get 11,000 vacancies. Well done. Or they're sacking people for not taking the jab. So what, people want to go to work to be swung at by knives when you can probably do something else?
Stations closed or reduced hours. That means the community not just have the perception of being less safe, they are genuinely less safe because we don't have the proactive patrols to stop offences like this happening in the first place.
If we've got 2 noise-cancelling headphones in and burying our head in phones, we're not going to be alert and aware.
Scott Taylor says we all should be more vigilant in public places.
I think it's also more people aren't... Okay, you got this attack just about on Australian masculinity, right? So men aren't equipped to now stand up and try and do stuff about this. Most people would run, turn around and run, push their play girlfriend in front of the guy so they can get away. And you had a few sort of Aussie dudes, or that one Aussie dude who... took the guy down. Toxic masculinity. No, we need men. We need men who can stand up and fight back. I know it's a bit of off-topic rant, but think about it. Everyone's so pussified now that people can't... these people can come into supermarkets and do these sorts of things and feel like they're not going to be taken down the second that they start arcing up. In the US, people walking around with legal firearms, they can just take these people down. I don't know the laws around it, but if you had a gun and you saw someone doing something like this, maybe you'd take matters into your own hands.
People have heard of the fight, flight or freeze response, and sadly there's a fourth one, and it's film. And people will pull their mobile phones out and they detach from the circumstance, and that can make matters more dangerous for them and the people that are with them, like their children.
Overseas, facial recognition technology has been used to detect known troublemakers in shopping malls.
proper use of this technology, supported by training and others, reduces violent offences occurring in and around those retail spaces.
Actually try and prevent it. Get more social workers out there.
A COVID centre, 5,000 beds. Put the youth in there. Put them with an army sergeant. Lock them up till they're 18. Educate them. Put a wire fence around it. Problem solved.
Lock them up for the rest of their lives. They do dumb shit like that, these kids. Too soft. See that car driving through the shopping centre? Have something out of a movie. All right, that's enough of my rant today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't agree with me or you agree with me, put in the comments. Happy to hear about it. We all have different views on this sort of thing. I think we can all agree that it's really sad to see the country just go into the dogs like this on many different fronts. Cheers.